Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Bronx Museum's May Family Affair. We're going to give it another minute or two before we get started, but we have two half-hour-long art activities. Aurelia will be leading the first one in just a minute, and then another of our wonderful educators, Kathleen, will be leading an activity at 2:30. And if you're just joining us and this is your first time, so you're as an attendee to this webinar, you won't have your video or audio on, but if you have questions or comments or you want to share something, you should be able to use the chat or you can use the Q&A function. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and begin. Once again, for everybody who's just logging in, welcome to the Bronx Museum's Family Affair, Bring the Museum Home. My name is Nell and I work in the education department. And this is one of our educators, Aurelio.
Hi.
And so we've been doing these hour-long Saturday afternoon virtual programs for just about a year now. So whether it's your first time or you've joined us before, welcome. We're really glad you're here. Some things that might be useful to know. First of all, we're recording this webinar and we'll put it online on the Family Affairs section of the Bronx Museum's website afterwards, so you can check back, watch the activities again. Also, before we have these programs in the week leading up to them, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have these bags of free art materials available for pickup at the museum. And so when we're able to do these events in person, we love to be able to share art materials and do special projects that might require unusual things. And since we haven't been able to do that due to the pandemic, instead we've been giving away these activity kits. So again, they're free. If you're able to stop by the museum in the days leading up to a family affair, you can grab them and use them. Otherwise, don't worry, you should be able to do most of our activities with things you might have just around the house, and we can suggest how you could substitute them. So without further ado, Aurelio is going to share an activity inspired by one of the current exhibits at the Bronx Museum, Born in Flames.
Hi, everyone. So we have a beautiful exhibit right now, Born in Flames. Is many women artists who are really presenting their beautiful artwork. I decided to concentrate on one artist. Her name is Wangechi Mutu, and I'm gonna show you what we're going to do. I'm gonna present her a bit. So I forgot what we do. I share the presentation, or you're going to?
You should be able to just share your screen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll share
you
my
have it
screen.
right there. Yeah, perfect.
Now I remember. I forget everything when. Okay, so this is the artist Wangechi Mutu. She's an African American artist, and she is very impressive. I think she's been showing at the museum. I last saw her in, I think it's in 2010, with a show with another artist. Um, but anyway, this is one sculpture that is showing at the Met Museum right outside. And she created these artworks that are really wonderful. This is a metal piece. And they are outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Um, what we saw at our museum, um, this is work that she made. She used shoes. Can you see the shoes? She used shoes to make shapes, and then she added branches. So she uses like fashion or common objects or fashionable objects, in this case are the women's shoes, and make them, transform them into something else, into a beautiful work of art. Um, so this is another, a better view of it. You see the side, it's an amazing thing. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do a take on it, but we're gonna use watercolors. When we are ready, I'm gonna ask you to grab any 2 or 3 kitchen appliances, anything, small or big. This is kind of medium size. This is an egg beater, my nutcracker, and my peeler. Okay, and I need a pencil. So what we'll do, and I'll go a little bit quick because I will do it together with you. Then we will need watercolor and paper, water, and brushes, okay? And your watercolor paper. We will also need to tape our work on a cardboard or anything that will protect your working area, okay? So you can use scotch tape or masking tape. All right, so the first thing you do is to trace the objects. You can move the objects and trace others. Here I'm tracing all of them in different positions. I'm not really thinking too much. I'm just doing it anywhere you like to place it. That's where composition happens. You can be very spontaneous and just do it like that. Um, and here is more. I'm just doing the nutcracker object there. So now you can see all these objects overlapping. Some of them are not. Some parts are out. So just play with it. Here I'm beginning to wet my paper. But before that, I will need you to tape. We will gonna tape our paper on the thing. I don't think I have it here. It's supposed to come next. But anyway, I'm wetting the paper with water. You will see it's like not you cannot see it because it's just transparent. After that, then I'm ready to color. So that's the one technique of watercolors, is that you wet them first. You wet the paper first. It starts to warp. That's why we put masking tape. Okay, so so that way the paper stays flat. In any rate, I start putting yellow, and then I put red on the pillar, now put the green on the um, scissors, and then I start now doing the background, the inside, the negative space of the spaces. That's very important to sculptors. And I'm almost done. And then I started doing like improvisation lines, like just like that. And that's it. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and we are going to go right into our work. Okay. So if Nell can spotlight my hands, yeah, good. Thank you so much. So this is one I made. Look at this one. Pencils. I have. This is kind of crazy. I did all kinds of stuff here. This is a little bit like more free, and I'm gonna do one with you right away, where we just gonna start all the steps. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is Nell and everybody else run and get some objects from your kitchen. Any
Yes.
small object.
So
You
again,
can go scissors. Yeah, you go ahead, Nell.
yeah. Oh, no. So if you picked up your bag from the Bronx Museum, you might want to take some of the stuff out of it now, including the watercolor paper that we gave you. But something we didn't include in the bags is these household objects, because they should be objects that you have that might be special to you and your family. So Aurelia is going to give us a minute to go grab some.
Run. Yeah, just get two or three. And if you get only one, just do one. Anything that is interesting. Um, it can be, it can be one. If we do one, we can just do one and do different takes of it. Okay? So I'll give you a minute. This is really cool. Nice. Whoa, that's big. Oh no, that's excellent. That's excellent. Very good. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Just that side of it. So yeah, I got this potato masher, but so I'm just going to use the top of it because I like that shape.
That is really
And so,
beautiful.
and it doesn't necessarily have to be stuff from your kitchen. Like Aurelio said, scissors and other stuff you might have in an office or a desk area, anything that you think you could trace.
The nice thing about kitchen objects is that have very interesting shapes. So
Yes.
that's the good thing. You get one or two. So the next step would be get you pencil and papers, and we will begin working. I cannot see my image fully. I'm going to pin my image. Okay, yeah. Uh, so now the first step is just to tape your paper. Just tape paper on the sides, okay? Like one, like here. Again, taping the paper is just to so that the paper stays there. We're gonna wet the paper a little bit, and another important object that the bag may not have is paper towels. Paper towels are very important in watercolor. They are, or any kind of towels, because they help you not to put too much water in your brush, or and you can always dry like this. When you put too much and you think it's spreading where you don't want to, you can do that. So paper towels are very important. So now we're ready.
And do you also, sorry, earlier if you mentioned this, but a cup of water too for the watercolors is
Yeah,
a good.
right here. A cup of water is the most important thing because without water, we wouldn't have watercolors. Thank you, Nell. Oh my God, what would I do without you? All right. Okay. So we are going to start with tracing. Are we ready? So you got the pencil. We got all the materials. You got your watercolors on the side. I got these watercolors almost ready for you to attack. You got some brushes also on the side because soon we're gonna use them sooner than later. Um, I'm gonna be a little bit on the quick side of life, but you can always repeat the activity and slower, or just continue going on your own way when we finish. But so this is my first one. I could trace the same thing and go around the clock 4 times. How is that? I'm gonna do it 2 times, just to be able to see other parts. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna trace the outer part. I'm gonna trace the inner part. Um, and I'm gonna trace, yeah, like that. Maybe I'm gonna do one here. So just trace the object that you have or the two objects and play with that. Doesn't have to be like any
That's
very
really cool.
calculated thing. So that you got two forms here. I'm gonna use my drainer. Is that a called drainer?
Yeah, strainer.
Strainer. I'm gonna use the strainer maybe here, right there. I'm gonna do the circle of the strainer. Maybe I'll do this. So it gives you certain areas to work with. I also got my nutcracker, and I'm going to just very carefully so it doesn't move too much. Just trace that. And just
And so
going,
I want to do my jar lid now, and I think I'm gonna put it so it overlaps with some of the other shapes. Is that something that you would recommend?
yeah. I'm overlapping a lot of them.
See what happens.
We are overlapping, and as you see, I overlap this one, the drainer. The first two also they are like one on each other. So yeah, overlapping is good,
Great.
um, because then we will have too much.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I really like that. That's fun.
I'm gonna use this last one, maybe here, and just like that. All right, ta-da! Now the the watercolor stage. The watercolor stage is very simple. With a bushy brush, if you have, or the brush that you have now, just I would like you to to put a little bit of water. The brush had a little bit of blue hue from another work that I made, but just pass some water on it.
And if you got, again, the activity bag from the museum, your watercolor kit should have a brush inside it. But if you want and you have other brushes, you can use different sizes of those as well.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, uh, the kit is good. When you have a bushy brush, you can just you will be able to to cover a lot of area. Now,
Aurelio, what areas do I want to be putting the water on?
all of them,
Okay, great,
like the way I showed, is everywhere. I
great.
just covered everything. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again, and yet I'm really going all over in the entire area as you saw. Oh, you can see my image, right, Nell?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Um, right. So now with my paper towels, I'm going to dry a little bit. So some of the little pools that can create, just sometimes people wait maybe a minute to let the little cells of the paper just get thicker so that the color of the watercolor can go in there. Okay? So now we're ready to watercolor. Okay. Um, what I show you, this is my final part of my watercolors. I did each shape and I overlapped it too. And that was okay. So each shape will take one color. Okay? And that's what I did with with this work. Now, so you know your watercolors. We are going to, this is a great nice brush. And I'm gonna start with the yellow. Maybe I'll go primary colors today. And so I'm going to just, um, let's see, what do I do yellow? I'll do the egg beater yellow, okay? So I'm going to just, when the paper is wet,
Ooh,
it's nicer to apply the watercolor,
yeah,
okay?
that's great. It comes out so smoothly.
Yeah, it is a nice feeling to it and how you can have a choice, go around the other object. Like in here, I'm just gonna go around it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That is your choice and not like on my egg beater, I'm just going to do the egg beater and go around anything else that's on the way. And so this is one.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my spoon and I think I'm gonna do it in a nice blue. And again, like you said,
Nice.
I don't know if you can see this, but
You can
because the
see it.
paper is wet, it's so nice and smooth when you're painting it.
Yeah, there's something about the um, the paper when it's wet. It really is very it absorbs better. Then it gets dry, then you have to keep it a little bit wet. Okay, I'm gonna go into red, my nutcracker. I'm gonna do it red. So uh, get grab watercolor like this. There are people who put watercolors on the dish, but I can do it directly. Um, I always can use my paper towels to drain a little bit out of the excess water, excess paint, and then do my, you know, do the color. The nice thing about watercolors is that they are like it's water. It's not really like thick paint.
Mhm.
You're applying water on the surface, colored water, and so it's really beautiful how it just goes in there. Okay, so that's what I'll do and I'm gonna stop right before I get into this circle, the drain. The drain I'm going to do blue. I'm going totally primary. Yay. Okay. So the blue, this is the blue, and I just, you know, grab blue color. Just in case you get too much, you got your paper towel, touch, and some of it goes. So that you know how much you can apply, right? And now you're masters of watercolor. And we are going to do this one. I'm gonna go around the pillar and the other pillar, and I'm just gonna go right here. So I jumped, and
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
this time I overlap with the egg beater. So now I have all names for my things. But here it is. So I'm just spreading the water. That's what you do in watercolor. Like just do this beautiful approach to things. Like
Yeah.
do you think too much of paint? Or you think I'm more of water?
Oh, Aurelio, I don't know if this was on purpose, but I think I was very influenced by your color choices. So I
Oh,
also did
nice.
the
Yeah,
red, the yellow, and the blue.
they are so beautiful.
And so our shapes are so different because we were using different objects, but they still are a little connected to each other. And Aurelio, you have about 10 more minutes for your
Yeah,
activity.
yes, thank you. Yeah, I've been looking at with one school, we've been working on the paintings of Jacob Lawrence.
Mhm.
And he uses very simple colors, sometimes just primary colors for his painting, and they are so amazing. What would be the next color to apply? Now we're gonna go on primary a little bit. Maybe brown?
I went for green, so we're going to be a little different here, but I think that'll be cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go, or maybe green, or maybe another shape of blue. I can do another color of blue or green. Eeny, weeny, miny, mo. Okay, I'm gonna do green. This green is really cool. So again, if you have excess water, you just touch with your brush, and the great watercolor is they just know how to just apply the water, and it's just amazing. Um, get a little bit more. So out there, just let the water go, the color water go onto your forms and shapes. You can make a decision where overlapping is okay or when you can just cover. I will actually overlap. Oh, this green got really strong. So when it's that strong, what you do is like touch it up and it gets lighter. How do you like that?
Ooh, that
Yeah,
looks great.
yeah, yeah. It's a very beautiful um, way of working. I'm gonna drain a little bit of more color. And there. So I got green. Um, I don't have orange. Ooh, I do. Wait a moment. I have another set of watercolors here. Ta-da! And
Oh, you got a lot of colors. And then, of course, if you,
these are very pastelish watercolors. So I'm gonna do this orange.
and you could also try mixing colors, but that'll take a little more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mixed some colors already here on this.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I know kids like to mix colors. That's amazing thing. So I'm gonna do the orange part here. In a way, it's good to keep very simple colors first. Then the mixing can go on, you know, the overlapping and things. But first to see how your colors stay simple with your simple shapes is a really beautiful thing. I think Mutu, the artist, just kept it like that in her those beautiful shoes. She's also a paper artist. I think she makes this wonderful
Mhm.
collage. But anyway, there you go. We got these four shapes.
And so I also have four shapes on mine.
Yay! Whoa, that looks really good.
Thank you.
Very good now. Um,
If anybody has a potato masher like this, I recommend tracing it because it's really fun and you get this
Great
thing.
shapes. Oh my God! And you can do different takes of the pot. You can just use the potato smasher
Yeah,
to
I could
do
put it
in different
exactly. I
positions.
could repeat that shape over and over, and maybe
Over
I'll
and
add that
over,
later.
and then you get this beautiful thing. So, and most important is stay like with the shapes that you have, and keep it very simple, and you'll see how beautiful that is. I'm gonna do purple background or pink background. Pink background. How do you like that? in between things, that is called in sculpture at least negative space.
Mhm.
And actually, I'm gonna do this very beautiful pinkish color, negative space. I'm gonna do the negative space of my nutcracker.
And you might notice, like I noticed that I don't think I put in enough water before, or it dried because it's been so much time. So you might need to add a little more water again.
Good idea. That's a good idea. You
That's
can
what I'm
just
going to
put
do.
just simple water, make sure it's just clear, and tap it with your
Yeah.
paper towel
And that, yeah, that's
so it
much
doesn't
easier.
create pools or things like that. I did just my negative space, and
Yes.
I miss doing this red, so I'm gonna get this red color. Whoa, these are too big.
It looks very futuristic in some ways when you do this with just ordinary objects.
He looks very beautiful. I think many artists have done this approach of using objects like Wangechi Mutu, and they create these beautiful things. Of course, she's making an statement with the artwork that she uses, a little bit of criticism on how we're using, you know, stereotypes of things that what people should wear. Um, but that goes beyond our I think there's always a statement you can say about kitchen um, utensils and any object. And artists always use these kind of things, mediums, to express their ideas. And so we have this beautiful work. We have a few minutes, maybe a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
We can take care of the background. You can do it two ways. I had talked to Nell, how do we connect? I had told, like Wangechi Muto did the shoes and did these beautiful roots coming out. These natural things that seem to be more powerful than the shoe itself. Uh, so, so that's my question. There's something that can put together the work of art. Kitchen is a place we love. Moms, that's what they do. They take care of the kitchen to feed us and stuff. Uh, so kitchen is the love part of everything, I think. So, so let's add some hearts. Yay! Okay. If you got stickers in your thing, in your bag, I'm not sure if did we put any stickers.
We don't have stickers. They have some decorative paper.
Okay, but if you let it dry, you can do decorative paper in shapes of hearts. I have some here. Where is my decor? No, it's not near. Well, I'm going to draw hearts and try to connect them between one shape and the other.
I'm gonna do, I think, something Aurelio and I had talked about if they were connected by plants or something with a more natural shape. So I think I'm gonna do something like vines. So just kind of traily
Oh, I
lines.
want to see that. So
You'll add
I'm
some
going to be a
leaves.
copycat. I'm going to do hearts and I'm going to do vine. I'm going to do branches. These days I've been drawing trees. That's what I always have been doing since all year. And so I'm going to do like maybe like yourself, like some branches connecting. The hearts connect to branches. Just, I think it's good to keep it very simple, as simple as you can.
Yeah, because the shapes already look so good. So you can see what I did. I did some twisty lines and then I just drew some very simple leaves on them. And so of course, if you want and you have time, you can add paint to your whatever you did to connect as well for the heart to your vine.
Like what I'll do real quick, I'm going to do this light brown on those branches and see what happens. Just really
Great.
quick. So
Yeah,
I'm
we
going
have
to,
just another minute.
yeah, I'm going to take that minute to just do these branches, like connecting all the objects of love um, that is our kitchen object. So that's the artist statement. Yay. Okay. So let me do this one.
And I'm gonna do green for my vines, so I'll show you in a minute.
Oh, that's good. And I'm going to do also red for my hearts. It will be a little bit overlapping.
So any ideas that you have of how you want to connect these objects, I think will look really cool. It could be more abstract and just be some sort of line or connector that you paint any color you want.
Or it can be arrows, but I think most importantly, it can be anything you want. And also that just as simple as you can make it too.
So here are my vines.
I let me
Oh,
see. I want to see it. Let me finish this
yeah,
part.
no, I'll keep holding it up so that other people can see too. Maybe you did vines as well at home.
And then you can do also the final background. You can choose between colors and just do a background as you like. Um, you can do background with colors, pencils, but I think it would be good just to continue with the idea of color. You can choose any color and just do the background too. That I will leave you with it. I have this um, gray color. So I'm gonna do some of the background. Ooh, that looks so good. Oh my God. You can do
Oh,
a very light background. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done. This has become a beautiful artwork.
yeah, I love it.
They will say, "Oh, what is it?" And you can explain what it is, but doesn't have to be something um, that we has to be totally explained. But I mean, it's good to know that we work with different materials, with the objects of the kitchen, and then it became something else. So this is wonderful.
Great. Thank you so much, Aurelio. So yes, and of
Let
course
me
at
see if
home,
I.
you can keep adding to this. You can, here, I'll unpin you. You can keep adding to it. You can add the background, and this is an activity that you can really do again and again with all these different shapes. So we hope you enjoy it. Thank you again, Aurelio. I'm going to put you in the attendee room and bring in our second educator.
Thank you, Nell. Great to have you here, guys.
Great. So once again, if anybody's just tuning in now, welcome to the Bronx Museum's Family Affair. Um, this is an hour-long activity session with 2 half-hour activities. We just saw Aurelio helping us create these watercolor images and drawings out of household objects. And now I'm going to bring in another one of our educators, and she can introduce herself. Hi, Kathleen, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you? Hey, good
Yeah,
afternoon. How are you? That looked amazing what you and Aurelio made together.
thank
Uh,
you.
so amazing. And so I have my background. I'm working on a painting in the background, which is also inspired for our activity today, The Secret Garden. And we're looking at the art show Born in Flames at the Bronx Museum, which you can actually go see. And some of the images are online. And we're going to be making a decorative box, a craft box. But what's special about it will be weaving using some of the elements that are from the show. So, Nell, I know we talked about some artists, but the
Yeah, do
artist
you
that
need
I
a
looked Clarissa, is it Clarissa Tossin?
Clarissa Tossin? Yeah, and I'll show the image
The
that
water
Kathleen
where
has
the
talked
river meets
about.
the ocean. I think I have to look at the actual title, but I was inspired by, yes, thank you. That's exactly the one. So we're looking at weaving, taking paper and layering them. I'm not an expert at weaving, but I definitely tried, and I'll be walking you through a simple method. But I love this piece so much, the way that it interweaves. And then I thought it was really what I always enjoy with family affair. It's like a tradition. Once a year, I like to do decorative boxes and have different themes. So this one is inside. We have tissue paper. I don't know if you can see them that well. Some tissue
I'll
paper inside. Let me put them up to my camera. So it's
yeah,
this idea. I enjoy the fact that part of our self-care, self-love, practice is allowing ourselves joy and allowing ourselves like, it's not necessarily secrets, but surprises. So I enjoy little surprises. And this box is for you to put, you could put notes in it, you could put money in it, you could put whatever you want, but it becomes this place where we practice self-care and we put our love and our joy into a box, and then, you know, we could pull it out. Sometimes I collect affirmations throughout the year, or putting together, if you have a goal list, things that you want to accomplish, putting those into a container. This could be perfect for that. And so we're going to start. I'm going to ask you to get your materials together.
And yeah,
And so it's
if anybody's joining us now who wasn't here for the first activity, just a brief recap. So we've been doing these virtual family programs for about a year. And one of the things, we do them about once a month. And one of the things we offer is you can come to the Bronx Museum the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday leading up to these Saturday events and get a free bag of art materials. And that will have everything that we recommend that you use for the activity. So if you were able to grab those, you probably, if you were here for the last activity, you might already have it out. But if you're just joining us now, you want to make sure you have this. It will have everything we recommend you use. But if you were not able to do that, you want some sort of a cardboard box or just cardboard that you can make a shape out of. Your tissue paper.
yes.
Some different kinds of patterned or plain paper that you can do the weaving from. Scissors.
Yes, awesome.
And glue stick. Or if you didn't get the bag, regular glue is fine too. Glue sticks can just be a little easier to work with. And then this,
and I'm also, yeah, so now I'm going to add to that too, because if you don't have the decorative paper, you can also make your own decorative paper with this activity. So this is, I used hearts. I made kind of like my own decorative. So I'm actually going to use this for this one. And so the first thing, yeah, so once you, let's take a moment and I'll just recap. So now I have my scissors. We have colored paper or decorative paper, some sort of cardstock or like something. Do you have cardstock? I don't know if you do, but some sort of paper.
So again,
yeah, if you don't have the box, you can weave on top of the paper or play.
Oh yes, yeah.
Paper. So then, yeah, we have the box. Okay. And definitely check it, because like, yeah, some boxes, I had a box, you know, it's like a little bit broken. You can fix it while you're actually fixing it, working on it. Oh my God, funny, fixing it. So yeah, you can open your box and take that apart. But what I think is most important is to actually prep the materials first.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to turn my camera to just walk you through that. So what I did first is I cut strips. And also if you have a pencil, that would be great. We're not cutting.
Yeah, there's a pencil in the bags.
Yeah. And that's to do, so when you're doing your, I did the top background and we're going to do that next. So, but the first thing is cut your strips however wide or thin. And I would suggest doing some, like I did it like a diagonal, if you can see that now, instead of cutting like straight, because that way I was able to get the interesting, intricate patterns. Yeah. And so just kind of, I would say cut maybe 5. These are long, so I'm just going to cut 3 and actually cut them in half. I'm cutting my strips, and this is just to prepare so then we can actually play. So I'm going to cut these, set these aside. I'm actually going to use my decorative paper that I made.
You're doing this at home. The scissors that you might have gotten in your bags are kid friendly, but of course, if you're using sharper scissors, you might want to get an adult to help you out, do it together.
Definitely. You could also rip too. And they don't have to be like, I've done thin strips, but you could also, you know, with the assistance of an adult, cut wider strips, which could make the weaving interesting. And before we get into the box, yeah, so now I love how, so yeah, lie your strips down. And what you want to think about, that these are 2 layers. So this layer is going to be different than than this layer.
Mhm.
So one easy way, you know, we just lay the strips on top. So now if you have other strips, we're just
Yeah.
gonna play with weaving right now. So I'm not doing, this is not weaving. But this is an example. I'm laying the top one layer on top, there's a bottom layer. And then what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm going to take this one piece and I'm gonna start to tuck. So playing around with putting one piece in front, on top, creating this pattern that when strips are going, the decorative pattern, like just for here, this is on top, it goes, this goes underneath and this one's on top. So it's playing with this idea of almost like braiding, if you know how to braid, fitting in the paper, and you kind of want to do the opposite. So if this is on top here, this is like always the fun part. And I'm saying to play with it because a lot of times when we get into weaving or getting into playing with paper, it can be hard to follow. So I'm just doing it like this. And so can you kind of see now how it kind of starts to weave together? There's pieces in front of each other. So that's kind of what you want to create. And again, this takes a long time. So you definitely want to ask your adult friends to help you. And even for adults, weaving is definitely something that's not easy. So just playing with that. And then you can put these to the side. I just want to practice. So we practice doing a little bit of weaving. So and then I'll just do it again. And sometimes people start like this. You'll start with the two different styles. So you have this style. I'm going to do it towards you. And then you kind of make this cross on top of each other. And then you would take the other piece. This one's on top. I'm going to slip that behind. And so it becomes almost like over and under. And can you, all right. So let's put our strips to the side. Oh yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah, so because my strips are kind of a funky shape at the ends, I'm not worrying too much about if I really wove it right and just kind of playing around with where it's over and under, and I think it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, see, and that's too, I like and if you look at the one that I made, I played with the width. So don't be afraid of that. And we're going to get more into that. I love your pattern, your decorative paper.
So some people have gotten the same papers in their kits, but it's actually a front and back. So it was
okay, yeah, nice. So the next step we're going to work on, we're actually going to create, so on the top here, I have green. So we're going to create what I call the background, the inside, and then the top. So what you want to do with that, you're going to take, you're going to take the lid off. And you can either trace the lid or the bottom part. And then I'm going to let me find my paper. So I'm going to put this down and then I'm going to trace two of these. So one is going to go on the inside and one is going to go on the outside. And then we're going to cut those out. Once we trace these, we're going to cut them out and actually glue them in. So I'm tracing one, tracing another one. If you like the craft color, like the brown color of the box as your background, you can also use that. But for me, I wanted to add some color. So I've traced my two pieces and now I'm going to cut them out. But what I suggest with this now, so let's see, you got your circle. Yeah, and then what you want to do is instead of cutting on the outside of the line, you kind of want to cut inside,
right? So
it fits inside the box. So I'm actually like with the pen line, I'm cutting inside of that so I can adjust it that it goes inside the box.
Yeah, so you
because
can
it's not exact shape.
Yeah, I'm cutting mine a little smaller so I actually still have the line after I cut away.
Yeah.
And of course, if you cut it and it's too big, you can always trim it down a little bit after that.
Absolutely, you can totally do that. And so you want to cut up both of those, and you can also test it if you want to test it and see how you have to adjust it if it goes in. Yeah, like mine doesn't fit right now, so I have to take it out and cut it down.
But that's just fine, and it's totally fine if it's a little too small too.
Yeah, like on my green one, this one was too small, but I can't really see it.
And that's so that fits in great.
So then once you cut out both of them, I'm like behind. I'm gonna cut out the other one. So you're gonna take out your glue stick and put the glue on the bottom and the top and glue these down. And then we're gonna move on to the next part's gonna be weaving on top. So we'll get ready for that. So with your glue stick, you can
So
put
is
the
this
glue
for
in
the
the
inside
bottom.
of the lid?
No, so that's up for the outside of the lid, so on top.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
So that
so
one's
so with this one, the green, I put the green. I didn't want the craft brown color of the box.
Mhm.
So I put the green behind it just to kind of give a background to it.
Got it.
Yeah. You could use it for the top of the box. I thought originally that was my idea, was like I was gonna do decorations on all the box all over.
Mhm.
But I decided not to. So I put it inside, gluing my top part.
And remember, if you're using, especially if you're using a glue stick, but also if you're using some other kind of glue, to use put something down behind whatever you're gluing so you don't get glue on your surface.
Yes, like have it like an extra piece of paper. Yay. So what color did you pick?
So mine is, it's a light pink and then it has hearts in it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you could definitely use the decorative paper too. I'm using blue for mine. And so once you have these two steps, so I have my top, my lid, this is where we're going to be doing the weaving. You could weave on the side, but I would say after that might take longer than the session today, the workshop. So we're going to start, and I'm going to start with the top part. So you want to pick like almost like a corner, what I call an anchor now. So you want to anchor one of your pieces. And so obviously my pieces are way bigger than my lid. So I'm going to cut these in half. So then I actually end up having more strips. And like Nell said, so I have a piece of paper here. This is for like any glue left over. So when I'm gluing my strips, I put my strip on top of this piece of paper, almost like a landing pad. I want to call it the landing pad today, the glue. And so I'm gluing just the top of it. I'm not putting glue on the whole stick, because this actually will allow us to weave or be able to like manipulate the paper in and out. And even then I put too much glue. So I'm holding it. So I started, this is my, what I call an anchor.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take my other color decorative strip and put it down underneath and actually put the other strip on top. If you can see, so it becomes like that.
So like this, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And then you're going to
Do you have glue on that one that you put under it?
I didn't, because I put so much glue on the top one, but you
Oh,
could
okay.
put glue if you want to put glue.
Yes.
Either on the box before you put the strips down. You could put the glue, actually, that's probably like a smarter idea. I feel like I learned old school to glue every little corner down as you're weaving. So you could have that, push these down, and you don't want to have glue on all of it. You want to have these two strips. You can see that kind of loose. And then we're going to take the next strip, which is one of these decoratives, and I'm actually going to put the glue right on. And it's going to go over top. So this is when you do, this is my second one going down, and then I'm going to do a second one going across. And that's going to go on start this, it's in up top. I'm going to do it underneath, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And I think traditional weaving, normally, this is why I say I'm not an expert. I think you need 3 pieces of paper, and there's a whole way to like braid it and weave it like hard together. But when we're working with paper, we kind of get to play, I don't want to say cheat, but we kind of get to cheat a little bit with the technique, because the blue becomes that 3rd piece of paper.
If you're interested in learning more about this, we have some great detailed paper weaving instruction videos on the Bronx Museum's website. So you can always look at those if you want to learn a little more about this, just because we don't necessarily have time right now, since it's just a part of this one project.
Yeah, and don't worry about like, so see how this is coming off the edge? I'm losing my oval of the box. I'm not worried, because when I am finished, I'm going to come and trim these edges off. So just keep, so I'm going to bring a 3rd piece And you can play around with the patterns. It does not have to go, it doesn't have to look like it goes together like matchy. And so, yeah. And just know it that because I have to remind my own self that if this one was on top, this one goes underneath, then the next one coming down is going to be the opposite, which is going to be on top. And then it goes underneath and over top. And then if you have excess, so I'm going to stop mine there. So you can keep, I'm going to put one more. I think I'll do one more strip. Let's see where you're at. Nice now.
Thank you.
It's great. So definitely too, please take photos of your artwork and email it to us so we can see what you created.
Yes, you can email it to education@bronxmuseum.org and I'll share that with everybody.
Awesome. And so there, so I'm on my last strip, and as you see, it kind of looks all like it's floating. It doesn't really look like anything. So then I'm going to take my scissors so you can see the round part, and I'm actually going to trim right next to the edge. And so I actually have my scissors, and this is where you definitely need an adult to help you. I put the edge of my scissors next to the box as a guideline. So it helps cut the paper in the shape of this box. And if you have anything that's kind of like floating, you can glue it down. Let's see now.
So I
Amazing.
didn't finish my strips, but I'm going to go back later and I just want to see what it looks like when I get the shape of the box back.
It's funny, when I did my sample, I almost was like, I don't even know if we could do the tissue paper flowers. I was like, but I'm going to do a little bit. So I just did a very simple version of, and I know there's, if you have another version of how you make tissue paper flowers, love it. So some of these pieces are loose, but I'm going to glue them back later. And so just also like two different, you can go for hours about how different these, and these make a really great gift as well, if you want to make these boxes. So the next part of it is beautiful. I love how the tartan is almost like summer and winter in that box. And so on your inside, you have some tissue paper. Oh. And gonna want to cut it into, well, so depending on how you do your tissue paper, your flowers, I think your tissue paper is square that you have.
It's these larger squares so they can cut it.
Okay, so maybe what you want to do is take them and fold them into smaller, like a square like this, or a square I'll get like this, yeah. Maybe even one more small, like smaller, because you're thinking like tiny, yeah, that's good. So with that, I just took like a folded section of tissue paper and I cut a circle in the whole stack of it. You can cut others, like you could cut into it. It doesn't have to just be a round shape. It could be more organic. And even you can see, like I purposely did not cut a perfect circle.
And again, you might want to get an adult to help. You can draw the circle beforehand. Here's mine.
So where your tissue, so with these flowers, what I did is I took one very simple sheet, and you can take more than this, but you kind of just pinch it in the middle like this, like a fan, almost in half, and then fold it in half the other way. So but you want to have it too, that you have like a little part of it. Yes. So put that aside. So now what I decided with mine on this one is I did a circular pattern with the flowers, but you really could make your secret garden inside. However, with this one, I think I just want to put one flower for today for timing. Or I might put more, but however you want to put your flowers, beautiful. You can put your flowers on top.
Again, if you were, this is what I'm doing for my flowers. So I have this stack of circles. I pinch it in half, like Kathleen said, and then fold it in half again. And then if you just grab the point at the bottom and scrunch it, it looks like a flower. But what I think really looks like a beautiful flower is if I have a couple of these and I combine them. So here's 3 circles that I did like that.
Beautiful. And then, so my recommendation now is, so when you want to glue the tissue, do not put the glue on the tissue paper.
Put it on
Put
the
the
box.
glue on the box where you want the tissue paper to stick. And it's so magical how the tissue paper just like naturally grabs to the glue and will stay there.
Yeah,
So I've
tissue
literally
paper-
like, I've taken a scrunchy, look, this scrunchy little flower, and then I'm going to show you, I'm putting it on the glue. I'm like stuffing it in there, and it glues like that.
tissue paper
It
is
actually looks, oh my God, I'm so,
yeah, you don't want to put glue directly on it because it's really easy to rip it, but it should work on the box. So let's see. I'm gonna try it.
and so my theme of the week is being water lily. So I'm very excited that this looks like water lilies floating in a pond, but I'm gonna add in a little more. And I might even add a little few like lily pads, like some cut up green circles to put in there.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, and the great thing about tissue paper too is, especially once you have these circles, really anything you do to scrunch it up will make it look kind of like a flower. So here's mine. I'm gonna let it dry, but
Oh, I like that. Here. So I actually have some yellow ones. Yummy. And then I'm gonna put that like that. And just like Nell said, like I'm laughing. So here, if you look inside, I literally just scrunch these and put them in, but they do look like these kind of spring flowers. What also inspired me so much about this project this week is you have these marigolds, you have the tulips coming out, you have all these amazing flowers, lilacs, that are smell so good, look so good, inspire so much artwork.
also, again, if you got one of these activity kits from the museum, you should have gotten at least 2 tissue paper colors. So you can put one circle inside another circle and you'll have a little flower like that.
Amazing. And then I wanted to now just to talk about when we're gonna finish up. So I actually did the side of my box. And
Oh,
so
beautiful.
how I recommend that is if you take the width, so you can measure this width, and I'm gonna just show you quickly. I cut it, I measured it with a pencil, and then I cut like a straight line and glued that around the box. So you can play around, and if you have extra strips, those could go on to the side, and you can continue adding on to your secret garden.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Lily. Okay, so again, both this and the activity that Aurelio shared with us are inspired by the exhibit Born in Flames, which is now up at the Bronx Museum. And as always, the Bronx Museum is free admission. It's totally free to visit. We do ask that you reserve a ticket ahead of time so we know to expect you, but you can figure that out on our website. And again, we recorded this whole family affair so that you can watch it again. Both of these activities, you can always continue adding to them. You might want to take a little more time or return to them. So we hope you enjoyed this. And our last family affair of the school year will be on Saturday, June 12th. So that is 3 weeks from today. We'll have some more wonderful family art activities. Again, we encourage you to come to the museum the Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday before that and pick up a bag of your free art materials. And we hope to see you then, and we'll keep you posted after that with what we'll be doing for families at the museum this summer. So thank you again for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. No, I had so much fun with you. And Aurelio, thank you.
Yeah, great. So, and again, you can email any of your work to education@bronxmuseum.org or any feedback or suggestions that you have, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.